Here's a quick summary with all the pertinent information. Starting this year, I'll be switching the roles of my two channels. Foolish Bailey will be the breadwinner. I will post here more often, and I will do all my sponsorships here as well. And Foolish Baseball will be the passion projects, the baseball bits. There won't be as many of them, but they'll be twice as long and sponsorship free and available early access via Patreon before they hit YouTube. Instead of splitting my workload 75-25 Foolish Baseball to Foolish Bailey, it'll look more like a 50-50 split. So that's out of the way. The rest of this video is just the details, why this is happening, a reflection upon 7 years of full-time independent content creation, and the usual YouTuber complaining about the algorithm you've already seen for the umpteenth time. If you want to stick around for that, here we go. 2026 will be my 8th year of full-time content creation. It's something I'm very proud of. I'm having a prolonged career in a field where stars tend to have meteoric rises and then quickly fizzle out. I'm a Rich Hill in a world of Tim Lincecums. Almost every tough decision I've made has been geared towards long-term sustainability and not biting the hand that feeds, which, to be perfectly clear, that's you. That's your hand. So that's why I come to you to say the Foolish Baseball channel is in decline. After a peak in 2021, which by the way was great timing because I got DFA'd by my parents' health insurance that August when I turned 26, it has lost views every single year since. And while I don't expect everything in my life to grow infinitely, dropping 20% every year is not a good trend for me. It's a trend that, if I don't act, could result in full-time content creation no longer being viable for me, aka, time to get a real job, bozo! Now the good news is, that decline hasn't totally affected my bottom line, at least not yet. I made about the same amount of money in 2025 as I did in 2021 when the channel peaked. It's because of more revenue streams. I'm not as dependent on Google and raw view counts as I used to be. AdSense was 79% of my income in 2021. In 2025, it was 43%. But there is a necessary view floor in order to keep getting the sponsorships and keep maintaining the Patreon. And again, I'm dropping 20% every year, so a little precarious. Which leads to my next point. I don't really want to do anything other than this. And this could be defined a lot of ways, but I would define it as running a small business where I'm the only employee and there's no overhead. I don't see independent content creation as a springboard to a more prestigious media gig. This is not about ending up on TV. This is not about landing venture capital investment. This is not about being best friends with all my favorite baseball players. No disrespect to whoever's gone that route, but it's just not me. What you see in front of you isn't the best setup, but it's the you part of YouTube. It's low budget, it's authentic, it's do-it-yourself. It's the part of the platform that I like, and it's the part of the platform that people in more corporatized sports media are jealous of. And I've been jealous of them at times too, so the feeling is mutual, but the point is, I love doing this, making YouTube videos that I myself would enjoy from the comfort of my own home. There's no ladder to climb here, I'm already at the top. I want to do this for as long as I possibly can, and I don't care about it being respected or legitimized by the industry. I just care about it being respected and legitimized by you, the viewer. I'm not looking to stand on the heads of 100,000 like-minded baseball fans and catapult myself to stardom. It's not what this is. I didn't even show my face the first year I did this. People didn't even know my last name or where I grew up until I'd been at it for a few years. My biggest inspiration starting out was Summoning Salt, someone who just lets great content speak for itself rather than trying to build a personal connection with viewers. Which is ironic because I am making this announcement on my second channel. Wait, no, actually, maybe this is my main channel, Foolish Bailey. This is the one where I appear on camera regularly, and this is the one where the content is objectively lower in quality, but it's personality driven, and I resent that a little bit because I never actually wanted to be a personality, at least not my understanding of what it entails. To me, being a personality on the internet can be transactional. I reveal things about myself and my life in exchange for a viewer base that is more engaged because they are forming a parasocial bond. They don't just like the content, they like me. If you're still watching this video, you might like me. I'm gonna tell the whole class you have a crush. You know, you might like the way I talk, the way I look, my values, my sense of humor, but these things aren't baseball related. These are intrinsic to who I am as a human being. One reason I'm emphasizing my personality-driven channel, Foolish Bailey, is that I believe the audience here, on average, is more engaged. But I fear that engagement is ultimately driven not just by good content, but also relatability, and that's the transaction that makes me hesitate. You might know some things about me, but I'm not willing to auction off my family, my relationship status, my daily whereabouts in pursuit of more of that engagement. Best kept private, not everything is content. I'm sure other creators have weighed this as they've retreated from the front lines of their main channel to the cozy comforts of their secondary channel. It happens from time to time. The secondary channel eventually becomes the main channel. Rather than chasing a new audience, they can serve their existing core fan base that already likes their content and already likes them. It's a lower pressure environment. I'm not fully making that leap. I'm dipping a toe in while still leaving room for Foolish Baseball to bounce back, and here's how I plan to do that. Longer videos with lower frequency. Over the last few years, I think online video consumption has become polarized. People prefer either short-form vertical reels made for their phone, or increasingly longer-form widescreen videos that they watch on their TV, personal computer, tablet, and if they're feeling daring, phone turned 90 degrees. My theory is that there's very little overlap between these two audiences. Either you're a 30-second AI clip of a puppy saving a baby type guy, or a 2-hour analysis of Rugrats in Paris the movie type guy. Both are unappealing to me, in a way, but the point is, I don't think 15-minute video essays that take 3 weeks to make are all that viable for me anymore. And even if people want to see them, the algorithm is ultimately going to defer to videos that keep people on the website for longer. So instead of 10, 15-minute episodes of Baseball Bits each year, I'm gonna try for 3 30-minute episodes. There are many advantages to this. I've probably exhausted the 15-minute format at this point, so longer videos will allow me to do deeper dives. I'm hoping the scarcity will also drive up interest, with each video drop feeling like a big event, and the novelty of doing something new will help my creativity as well. From my experiences on Foolish Bailey, where I've done videos in a variety of formats across a variety of durations, I've found that longer videos don't have to play the game as much in terms of optimizing everything for constant stimulation, potential virality, thumbnail, title, all those things for the algorithm. And if you really prefer the 15-minute format, there are over 80 evergreen episodes for you to watch and rewatch. Evergreen meaning content that isn't time sensitive. You can watch pretty much any episode of Baseball Bits at any time and still derive value and enjoyment. In the past, this was a huge advantage for me. If someone discovered the 11th episode of Baseball Bits, the algorithm would, over time, recommend them the other 10. They might end up watching everything my channel had to offer. But that was then, and this is now, and I believe the algorithm has a newfound recency bias. It just doesn't recommend older videos anymore, which hurts the evergreen binge watch cycle. If someone today is enjoying an episode of Baseball Bits, the algorithm is more likely to recommend them a new baseball video essay from a smaller creator. It's not a bad thing, it's just a bad thing for me. That level of discoverability is why this platform is still one of the best when it comes to growing from zero to hero. It doesn't totally try to bury the small channels. I have the numbers to back it up. Here are the yearly post-initial hype views from my widely beloved Tim LaCastro video, uploaded in October 2019. Even in 2021, 1 to 2 years after upload, the algorithm was recommending it enough to gain over 400,000 views, but in 2025, down to 29,000. You'd expect these numbers to always go down, but not plummet like this. The algorithmically driven binge watch cycle just isn't there anymore, at least not for me. Now you might be saying, well, the algorithm isn't everything. If someone really likes the content, they'll seek out more via channel pages or search, but that just doesn't apply to the vast majority of online video selection. Browse features and suggested videos made up over 3/4 of my traffic in 2025. Yes, the viewer makes the final selection, but the algorithm is presenting the finite amount of choices, so view totals are heavily algorithm dependent, almost independent of subscriber count. That relationship between views and subscriber count is another reason you could make the argument that this channel, Foolish Bailey, is healthier than Foolish Baseball, because this channel regularly receives views that are higher than the subscriber count, which just doesn't happen that often on Foolish Baseball anymore. One of my most viewed videos last year was this one, Finding the Timothy Chalamet at Bat. It would have ranked well among all the Baseball Bits episodes from 2025, but that video took maybe 2 days to make, whereas the average Baseball Bits takes 3 weeks. You can start to see how I'd get the idea that doubling down on Foolish Bailey might be a good thing. So with this experiment, I'm effectively swapping the roles of my two channels. Foolish Bailey is now the breadwinner, Foolish Baseball is now the passion project, which means I can do Baseball Bits sponsorship free. Sponsorships on Foolish Baseball have been a pain point for me. Sponsors generally want their ad within the first third of a video's duration, and the way many creators go about doing this is they set up the video, they set up what it's going to be about, they entice the viewer, and then they transition to a sponsorship ad read. Well, I don't do that. Because, believe it or not, I work really hard on those Baseball Bits, and I don't want to interrupt myself. So the very first thing is the sponsorship segment, then the full Baseball Bits uninterrupted, which I know is poison for the algorithm because the viewer is immediately greeted by an ad read, but to me it's still better than the alternative. I don't want the experience to be sullied by an ad read partway through. But now, no sponsor is needed, and instead I'll be using the Baseball Bits releases to grow my Patreon. Patreon has been a huge stabilizing factor throughout my time as a content creator. It's the closest thing to a guaranteed income that I have. Admittedly, its growth has stagnated. I've been right around 600 patrons for the past 3 years, but stagnating growth is still way better than the decline I've had on YouTube in the same time frame. My hope is that offering the new Baseball Bits under an early access model via Patreon will entice new patrons to join and enjoy the monthly exclusive content on that platform. Whether it's Q&As, Foolish Bailey-like videos, or early access to Baseball Bits before they hit YouTube. If you want to join today, you can hop on and pledge now, and you won't even be charged until the first of the month. Patreon.com/foolishbaseball. Foolish Bailey, of course, will now be regularly sponsored, but I'll still try to leave some videos sponsorship free on this channel. I've never actually had ad reads on more than half of my videos in any given year. There are companies that wouldn't mind sponsoring everything I do, but I guess I just hate money. Really, what I hate is excess. Even if the gravy train ended today, I still made more money in my 20s than I ever thought I would, or more than I ever deserved. Certainly not enough to achieve full financial independence like the upper echelon of content creators, the internet millionaires, but still a good jump start on my peers working more traditional jobs in more traditional industries. My only financial difficulty right now is uncertainty. Most people can assume that they'll make more money in their 30s than they did in their 20s due to career progression. Not sure if I can say that for me, so I need to plan accordingly. I fully expect 2026 to be a transition year in that regard, but if it can get me into a more sustainable long-term position, I'm totally willing to do it. I want to be your baseball YouTuber for as long as I can. So here are my goals for this experimental year. March through October, so baseball season, my goals are 4 Foolish Bailey uploads per month, about 1 per week, 2 of which will be sponsored, and 2 of which will come with just a affiliate marketing shout out or a Patreon shout out, essentially unsponsored. And on Foolish Baseball, across the same time frame, I'll be looking to upload 3 episodes of Baseball Bits that are 30 minutes long and unsponsored with an early access model on Patreon. As far as what those Foolish Bailey posts will look like, I'll be taking inspiration from videos that have already done well on this channel, like this one, or this one. There's some consistency in terms of the format here. 8 to 10 minutes, a mix of me talking to the camera and putting relevant video and images on screen, just dumb, esoteric baseball minutia. And these videos can be made in a couple days. It also helps I have some regular content that follows the season schedule. For example, in March, I'll have 4 Foolish Bailey posts to do, and I imagine there'll be 5 hitters I like for 2026, 5 pitchers I like for 2026, 5 players I dislike for 2026, and the 2026 Foolish 50. The good thing about this transition is there will be zero downsides for anybody involved. That's my guarantee. The Foolish Bailey channel will benefit from more attention, and the Foolish Baseball channel will be reinvigorated by longer, scarcer uploads. You, the audience, will be happier because there will ultimately be more content, and I'll be happier because I'll somehow work less and make more money. Many people believe that tough strategic decisions come with a series of trade-offs, but trade-offs are for suckers. That's why I'm doing an upside-only type pivot. This is a necessary experiment due to a downward trend that threatens my long-term viability, and I'm glad to be doing it now in 2026 rather than in 2027 when the CBA is expired. No baseball YouTuber wants to be doing a content pivot when there's potentially no Major League Baseball to speak of. Probably not a great note to end on.